What is up, guys? It's your boy Brendan, aka Drip, back with another awesome video. And in today's video, we have a test hand slash discussion slash combo tutorial on Ogdoadic Orcust. After reading some comments and stuff, I realized that I have not done test hands and discussion videos in a while on a lot of my decks and stuff. So I decided to take the time and do one on this one because I'm sure people are probably going to ask for it since this was a highly sought after updated list of mine. So here it is. If you haven't seen the deck profile already, I'll put that in the description. You can go check that out for the updated list. This is mainly going to be discussing my ratios, my card choices, and everything else. I've worked on this list for a while, hence part of the reason why it took me so long to even get it out to you guys, because I wanted it to be as perfect as possible if I can. So let's get this shuffle going and see what we get. And this whole thing is going to be as if our opponent doesn't have hand traps, unless we draw Snake Rain, because normally if that resolves, we know where that goes. If it doesn't resolve, etc., etc. So we draw Droll, Nightmare, Gamma, Girsu, and Droplet. It's not the most ideal hand, but you at least get Orcust combo with this. It's a very defensive hand. Like if we're going second with this hand, we'll be set up. But going first, we just end on basic Orcust engine. So what we do is if we were going first, Girsu, we already have access to the Nightmare. So what I would probably do just to get it out of the deck, I would go get Brass to get it out of the deck and get access to it basically in rotation. Since it's the only card, effect, give yourself a token. If you're playing the Mech Knight version, it matters where you put the token. If not, you just put it anywhere. You link that token off for your Link Revo. Let me lift this up a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right. So this is our field. This is our hand. Okay. Now we could banish the brass. Banish the brass. Summon the Nightmare. Now you can link these two off. Link those two off for Galatea. Then you can use the Nightmare, targeting the Girsu. Okay. Send the Wand. Okay. If you know Orcust, you know what this combo is. You know where it gets you, etc., etc. You know where. And you can link these two off for the IP. And then use Galley effect, shuffle back the wand. Always want to shuffle back the wand. Prioritize the wand over everything, because until we get heart back, wand will always be the #1 recovery card, if that makes sense. Now here you could have went the old Babel route, but I'd rather go the negation route. Even though we do have a plethora of negates in hand, never have too many negates to solidify your next turn. So we'll set that from the field, and we'll set our droplets, and then basically the dead card with Gamma in our hand will basically help us with our unicorn basically. So after you resolve your crescendo, negate banish, you can use IP to link into unicorn. Unicorn pitch the Gamma, bounce another card, and then you also have a droplet on field as well, which I would actually probably chain the droplet to the activation of your crescendo, so you could just send the crescendo so you don't have to go neg from hand. So it's one of those things where you have to be careful and properly time your negates, because to a lot of people this would not seem like that much. I'm going to put these face up just so you know they're here. Let me zoom out a little bit. So let me move these here. Sorry, my tripod is like in the way. Sorry. All right, so these are face up even though they're really face down. Okay, so this is your field. Some people that wouldn't be that much, but you have a like turn ending potential hand trap in hand. You have a negate, and which will turn into a bounce. So bounce, negate. So you have 3 interruptions just off of this. You didn't even draw a single snake engine, basically. So that's. But if you know Orcust, you already know. But the way I would activate this is I would wait until they had something like somewhat like relevant on the field already that they could use, and then negate something with the crescendo. Chain the droplet to send the crescendo to negate something else. Then later use the IP, and then use the IP into the galley to go into unicorn if you need to bounce something, or you can go directly into your Zoroboros if you want. It's all up to you, but I would probably have gone unicorn. But that's it for combo number 1. Hopefully in the next combo / test hand, we'll actually be able to get some snakes. Let me clean all this up, and then we'll get into combo number 2. All right, here we are on combo number 2. Let's get a shuffle up. If you know me and you've seen some of my discussion videos, you know if for some odd reason I cannot get the hands that I want to get to show you guys, I will, at the end of the video, end up making the hand that I want to show you guys so you know the interactions for if you see it. Some of the hands I get, like, I'm not as lucky as everybody else, per se. So, but it is what it is. I just want you all to try to know all the interactions that you could possibly know to set you all up for success. All right, so let's see what we get. All right, finally, snake engine. Okay. Droll. Curse, 3/4, and Nunu. All right, so off the top of your head, you might look at this and be like, wow, it's last time you didn't see no Orcust engine. Now you don't see no, and you didn't see no snake engine. Now you don't see no Orcust engine. If we have good luck, this could potentially get us to our Orcust engine. If you've seen the profile, you know. So use Nunu. We're going to use Nunu effect. Nunu effect to send the. Let's go ahead and send the Naya. Okay. Now, if they didn't hit that, Snake Rain. Hopefully they don't hit it. Discard 1 card. Get rid of the Curse because you never want that in hand. You can save the Nunu for a follow-up, basically. So use the Snake Rain. Now we're just free real estate in it because we already have the good snakes in grave besides Overlord and Queen. So basically the rest that we send is the second part of the snake engine and follow-up, basically. So now we will go and do Overlord, the Queen, and Dark, and we can send. We already have another Nunu, and then we have a Nunu in hand. So let's just send another Naya. Okay. So we send 4. Now our grave is completely disgusting and loaded up. Remind you, all these test hands are pretending to us to go first, if you couldn't already tell. Alright. So now, this is where Nunu's effect, if you don't know, Nunu's effect is if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from the graveyard for free, but it locks you into reptiles until she leaves the field. Okay? Also, I forgot to mention, if you don't know what the reptiles do, Nunu can foolish a dark, and then Naya can foolish a light. So basically, Nunu and Naya are basically the same cards for their first effects, but they send the opposite attribute of one another. So one sends light, the other one sends dark. In Nunu, if you control no monsters, you get special summon her, and then you're locked into reptiles until she leaves the field. Curse's effect is you contribute one card you controlled, special summon one. Where is he at? He's right here. Special summon one reptile from your grave, blah, blah, blah. And then your opponent can special summon a monster from their grave and negate its effects. Normally right here, this is where you would, if you had Girsu, you'd normal summon Girsu and then send the Nightmare and then overlay for the rank 4 into the Feral Imps so you can get unlocked from your Snake Engine. But it's fine because we don't really have that many snakes in the deck because we just foolished them all basically. So what we're going to do is going to tribute the Nunu, special summon the Curse. Nunu's effect is when she leaves the field after you use her special summon effect, she gets banished. So Curse effect, special summon the Naya. Naya's secondary effect is when she's special summoned, you can search an Ogdoadic spell or trap from your deck. So 9 times out of 10, you're always going to search the Serpent Strike unless it's mid to late game, and in that case, that's when you search Lily. So search the Strike. Okay. So now we got Strike in hand. Let's see. And Dark's not that bad going first when you're going first. So what we're going to do is you're going to tribute her. She goes to the graveyard, but it tributes for cost. So you tribute and she goes to the banished pile, this is where this kind of works out. He tributes for cost. So you tribute her, and from her effect, she gets banished just like the Nunu does. Just special summon the dark. Now this effect, you can put two cards from your two monsters from your banished pile back into your graveyard, but at least one has to be a reptile. So you shuffle these two back into not shuffle them, but you just put them back in your graveyard, and guess what? They're pretty much live for next turn. Now what we do is this is where we hope our mills are good. Because since we don't have access to our Orcust engine yet, we are going to overlay into the zombie vampire. So hopefully get lucky and mill at Orcust. Detach the Curse because it's the most important one. Dark's really not that important right now. Detach, and then we're going to mill 4 from us and 4 from our opponent and special 1. That's really freaking good. I'm going to special the Girsu. Girsu effect. We already got access to Wand. So we are going to send the Nightmare. Okay. Send the Nightmare. Send the Nightmare. Now our Orcust shenanigans are live, but you don't want to do Orcust shenanigans yet because you want to get Overlord on the field. So now you want to activate the Strike. Okay. We'll put the hand right here. Activate the Strike. You don't really need your Vampire anymore. I get that it's a big beat stick. If you wanted to keep it to try to make a Zeus later or something, I mean, I guess you could, but I would rather use it for Overlord fodder. So you're going to use Strike effect to send it to the graveyard to special summon the Overlord from your grave. Now that you're pretty much done with your Ogdoadic part, this is where you can start with your Orcust shenanigans because you're not going to be summoning anything other than Darks from now on. Now you can just go off. Banish, target Overlord, which this part comes up a lot when you're going second to make Overlord just freaking huge. This is where you're going to send. You can send the skeleton. Send the skeleton. Now use the wand, banish the wand, special summon. I was trying to keep this all in the camera view so you can see. I apologize. Let me see here. There we go. All right. Now it's just bread and butter. Link these two. We're into our galley. Now, like I said, you always usually want to prioritize recycling your wand. Recycle back the wand. In this case, we have so many extenders. You don't really need to go into the ding combo to get Babel, because you have ding on steroids here. So this is where you prioritize going the crescendo route, because indirectly you have crescendo and you have ding, basically, because you get the ascend everything for this, and then you still have your negate from this. So I want to set this face up so you know. And we don't even really need to overextend anymore by using our skeleton, because we already shuffled everything back. And if anything, like, we don't draw something nice and we don't want to use the crescendo as secondary effect on our standby phase or whatever, we have skeleton to hit this. On top of that, you always want to try to play around as much as possible. I know what I'm about to say is kind of situational, definitely against our deck, because there's not really something quote unquote with a graveyard that looks like this to be super impactful. And what I'm talking about and referring to is DD Crow. Because if they crow this and we just use this to get access this, if they crow this and we just use this to get this. And then even if they crow Orcust Engine, we still have snakes. And then we have dark in the graveyard that can get our stuff back from our banished pal that they DD crowed. So it's just one of those things personally where I try to play around as much as possible, and you don't need to overextend. So, like, even though we have the skeleton, you don't really need to do that. Just save it for next turn, because you're basically going to end on a negate and a complete board wipe and a droll to potentially completely end their turn. This is a mid-range deck. Even though it looks sometimes, if you like open just straight gas and your opponent does have no interruptions, it seems like it doesn't feel like a mid-range deck. It just feels like a combo deck. But this deck, just like Orcust does in its whole entire life, it just likes to keep the game at mid-range and try to gain pace of the game and then take control, and then it'll just finish you from there. The snakes kind of have the same exact play style. That's why they fit so well, on top of the fact that they all just flow from the graveyard. But also, Strike can empty your hand with your Orcust cards to get your light snakes like Overlord and stuff like that. So it helps you empty the hand with your bricks, which sometimes Orcust can do. That's why a lot of people normally will try to run a second Orchestrator Return and stuff like that, or 3, just to try to empty the hand. Well, snakes help you do that anyways, whether it's Snake Rain, Serpent Strike, and stuff like that. So, but that's it for this is basically the exact combo. The only one I really kind of want to show you now is like the Feral Imps, to show you how you can get unlocked and stuff like that. This is literally basically what you want to try to end on every time if you don't end with like another, like a Droplet or something. This is the bread and butter combo, where you end with Crescendo, Overlord for the board wipe, and then the hand trap or some kind of interruption and another interruption. In the other interruption, like this one, is not even really necessary. This is mainly what you need. This is mainly what you need to get you there. But sometimes it doesn't hurt to have an extra backup. That's another reason why I run Droll, because Droll could potentially be turn ending, and then this could be potentially turn ending, and this properly timed could just really hurt. So basically, you want to like put turn ending with turn ending, if that makes sense. That's it for combo number 2. I'll do another test hand, and if I don't get the hand that I would like, then I'll just show y'all, and then we'll talk a little bit, and that will actually be the video. So let's move on to combo number 3. All right, guys, here we are at combo number 3. We'll test hand number 3. I hope you all are liking the video and the deck profile, or you have liked it. Let me know in the comment section if you have used it and what kind of success you've had with it. Also, let me know what kind of how your all summer have been and stuff. What all have you done? Have you played in any Yu-Gi-Oh events? Went to regionals? Have you used any of the lists that I've helped provide for you, the regionals, or whether it's this list or something else? Let me know. I just like talking to you guys. Let me know down in the comment section on how your all summer been, where'd you go to vacation, etc., etc. But let's go ahead and get into comment number 3. Gamma. Ew, you don't like to see that. Skeleton, snake, brass. We can still get there with this. We can still get there with this. We really can. So now we have Gamma. I could show you the situation where it gets really juicy. Nunu, let's say they tried to Ash Nunu. Even if you didn't have Gamma, if you have these, you're still good. We chain Gamma, and then if they were, and then you just special, and then you go get the driver, brother. Where is he at? Driver. There he is. Now the Nunu effect will resolve to send to Dark. This one you just want to send Naya, just to be safe. Naya, where's she at? There she is, literally right in front of my face. Let's get a good shuffle, because we're obviously going to go into chaotic ruler. Give us a good cut. Now we synchro sun. Synchro for chaotic ruler. Chaotic ruler effects. Let me get this stuff out of the way. I get this and the vampire mixed up. It's 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to just add the Gamma and send the rest of the grave. Our mills were not that good to us. They hated us. Let's see. Interesting. Normal summon. I would link that off into the link Koribo. Alright. Now banish the brass. Summon the galley. I mean, not galley. Not yet. Skeleton. Link these two off into the galley. Banish. Summon the brass. Synchro summon. I still can't find it, but I have it. You've seen it in previous videos. Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend Abyss. So now we got a negate. I always want to try to prioritize recycling this back. Shuffle it back to go and get your crescendo. Yes, you have more extending you can do, but why overextend? Goodness gracious. Alright, so this is basically your inboard. You didn't get no real snake advantage, but you got a graveyard full of your Orcusts, and you have a Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend Abyss, and then on a follow-up, you have this you can bring back, and you can use this to bring back this, and keep going with your Orca shenanigans. And then if you drew into a snake card, all you're really missing is like a way to get the curse, whether it be in your Foolish Burial or something like that. That's all you're really missing, and then this could search a follow-up during the next turn. But yeah. Now let me, I'm going to, for this last part of the last combo, I'm going to just add Gearsu to my hand with the snake combo. One moment, and let's get into that one. Alright guys, here we are at the final combo. All you really need for this combo, like to use Feral Imps and all that, is Gearsu and like Nunu, or Snake Rain, or a way to get to Nunu, or just the snakes in general. That's all you really need. The other cards don't really matter, but they're there if you need them. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to start out with Nunu. Always Ash check first. They don't hit that. Then you use Snake Rain. Discard card, get rid of that. Keep this because you're Ash checking, remember, so you need it. They don't hit that. Well, forgot to actually dump off Nunu. So you dump Naya. They still don't ash you, or they try to ash you. You got that. So they don't ash you. Your stuff resolves. Okay, that's what happens. Now you already got the basic ones you need in grave. So now you just go get the rest. And Overlord. So basically, if you couldn't have already tell, the wanton snakes that you need in grave at all times is Nunu, Naya, Curse, Overlord, then Queen, then Dark. Priority-wise, probably Dark over Queen. So Queen is the least favorite one you really need in the grave for this version of the deck. So now we just go Nunu, special. It's probably kind of getting repetitive for you guys at this point. Normal summon Girsu. Girsu effect. You Ash checked this entire time. You couldn't find nothing. I mean, not find nothing. You didn't get hit by nothing, so you should be good unless it's an imperm. Send Nightmare. Now you're still locked into special summoning snakes, which you could easily get out of it with Curse, but it's fine. I'm showing you all another route. Overlay into Feral Imps. Feral Imps is a reinforcement of the army, basically, for snakes. You're going to detach the Nunu, so it doesn't get banished when it leaves the field. As detached from XC. To search. In this case, I would like to search Naya. The reason being is because when we get access to Serpent Strike, you can send the Dark to special the Overlord, so you don't have to waste another Dark like an Orcust card or something. Now Curse effect, tribute off, special, Curse effect, special summon one from the grave. They get to special summon a monster from their grave, negate its effects. Special summon Naya. Naya's effect to search a Ogdoadic spell or trap. It's the beginning of the game, so we're going to go get Strike, not Lily. Okay. Now we are in business. Now if you wanted to do Overmill, basically, tribute, gets banished. Special the Dark. You don't even need to special the Dark that much. And the only way I would ever tell you to special the Dark is if you're going first, they have nothing in grave, or you absolutely need it to recycle your Orcust or your snakes to stay in the grind game. Other than that, when you send Dark off of like Snake Rain or Nunu, it's going to sit there until you need it, if you ever need it. Other than that, right now, I'm just showing you a bunch of different things and different like scenarios so you know and get a feel of what the deck itself does. So, tribute that. Now this can put this back in the grave, basically. Now we can overlay these into your vampire. Detach the curse. And now you excavate 4, special 1. Does that have to be a light or dark? I can't remember. No, it doesn't have to. Especially on the driver. If you're going second, you would have a beat stick. Because you're not locked in darks right now. Now, activate the Serpent Strike. In theory, you could have activated the Serpent Strike first before you use Vampire. because Serpent Strike's effect is if a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard, you can foolish a reptile monster. So basically, it sets you up and deck thins more. So in theory, that would have been the better play. Activate this first, then use Vampire, and then you get an additional pluses. So let's actually say we did that, so you all can see it. I mean, there's not really to see outside the fact you get additional pluses by sending another snake to the grave. So just to be safe, let's say they like DD crowed a curse or something. So now we have 2 curses in grave that we can use to our disposal. So and all like the whole part of this is the deck thin, and this deck gets hand advantage or game advantage through the